One of my mom's neighbors is a psychopath. This happened in October 2019. I just came across the photos on my phone, but I don't know if I should upload them. So it was a weekend and I figured it would be a good idea to go out of town for the day and introduce my girlfriend to my mom for the first time. She lives out on the plains on 40 acres. The house and land are 1/4 miles off the road into the field, with our long driveway dividing the land of two neighbors. We arrived around noon and my brother and his wife also happened to be out there visiting. So, I introduced my girlfriend to everyone and all the dogs. I noticed that the loudest and most obnoxious dog, the beagle, didn't come greet us, and my mom explained that the previous night she went to grab something from the truck and on her way in, the dog had darted out the door and ran off into the field and he still hasn't come back. This isn't all that uncommon for a dog to run off in the night and come back a couple days later. Later that day, my mom recalls that her and my nieces were woke up around 1 a.m. to all the dogs howling and barking non-stop, just going nuts. Eventually they stop and everyone goes back to sleep. We continue to have a nice quiet day out in the middle of nowhere for a few more hours, when we notice that this hawk has been flying around the same spot all day in the field, so my brother and his wife go to check it out while I went around doing something else. A few minutes later my brother comes back and tells me he found a missing beagle. But something is wrong and I should go check it out before telling my mom. I follow my brother into the field expecting to find a dead dog. As we're walking I see a spot of blood and think that it was probably coyotes. He shows me a trail of blood that leads to a larger puddle and another trail. The dog seems to have been drug around some. That trail leads to an area in the field where the dog lay. As soon as I saw the dog, something looked wrong about the scene. All the plants around him were trampled and something looked different about him. I took a few more steps and realized that he is missing skin. This wasn't just a few bits missing from a fight or birds picking at him though. The only fur or skin left on him was his head, tail, and paws, with very distinguished straight lines. He had been skinned. Some sick motherfucker had killed, skinned, and taken the pelt of our dog in the middle of the night, only a couple 100 feet from the front door. Of course we called the cops. They took 2 hours to arrive, and took pictures. We looked around the area and noticed tire tracks, but we couldn't tell how old they were. We also found a pile of horse shit that looked pretty fresh close by. Did whoever did this ride a horse out there? To this day the cops have never followed up with anything and nothing else has happened yet. Nature cams were installed and fences have been mended so dogs can't get out, but we still have no idea who did it. I came across the pictures on my phone today and can't seem to bring myself to delete them.